Door-to-Door Mastery fans, what's going on? Paul Shakur here, and in this video, we're going to talk about a 2020 roadmap, but I'm going to give you insight as to what's been working for other door knockers in your specific industry, but also what has worked for me personally to help me excel, to help me propel myself in 2019. And this year, I'm going to be bringing you guys quality content that's going to be dripped for you guys. I'm going to focus on one video a week minimum, which means 52 videos in this year. And I know in the past I haven't been so consistent with it because, as a lot of you may know, we've been developing software here at PhilQuick, both our signature product philquick.com for the alarm industry, yes, that's a plug, but then also Active Knocker for door-to-door sales reps to manage their in-field activities and make sure they stay active knockers. Wait a second. Active knockers? That's right. From here on out, I'm going to be calling my audience, and I'm going to be calling you, the fans, active knockers, because we have to get actively knocking in the field in order to be what? Getting the results we want. So in this video, it's about 2020. It's about that roadmap. I need you guys, first of all, to look back at 2019 and ask yourself, did you guys and gals hit the goals? Did you guys and gals get further ahead in your development process as a salesperson? Or are you guys kind of still stuck not knowing what you're doing at the doors and are looking for answers so that you can get more consistent? Did you get better? And if you did, by how much? So here in this first video, I'm going to talk to you about the first point in 2020. And I know you may have heard it over and over again, but make sure you guys really understand that this is something that is so vital, whether or not you're, and important to whether or not you're going to be successful come December 2020. And that's setting the right goals, okay? I know you've heard it over and over again, but hear me out really quick. It's not just about setting goals and hoping that someday or, by the end of this year, you randomly hit it. Do you want to succeed? Do you want to be like the top salespeople in your niche, in your industry, in your specific, whatever it is you sell? If that's what you want to do, you have to set goals that are realistic, but high expectation goals, and get very clear as to why you set those goals. Like, what is it going to mean? And I'll give you an example. Let's just say you need $100,000 to put it as a down payment for the house of your dreams. Well, you need to reverse engineer this. You need to go, okay, if I'm going to need $100,000 by December, because in 1 year from now, I'm going to be living in the house of my dreams. Well, with $100,000, if I take that and I divide it by the amount, my commissions that I get per sale, well, that's going to give me the amount of sales that I personally need in order to unlock what it is I'll get. Now, why do I want that big house? Why do I want that? To show off and boast to other people? Or is it to feel awesome and have, a nice big roof over my head for my family and, for my friends to come over, we barbecue and watch the game? What is it ultimately going to mean? Get freaking clear. The majority of people have problems getting clear as to why they want their goals. They just randomly shoot from the back of their head saying, I want that, and I want this, and I want, and they wonder why at the end of the year they don't have what they want. And it's not because they just randomly didn't hit it. It's because when times get tough, and you're fighting throughout your day and people are rejecting you and you're just getting that not interested all the time, well, you're not going to put up a big enough fight to learn what's going on, to overcome those, if plain and simple, your why you want your goals isn't big enough. It's not meaningful enough. It's not going to make a big enough impact on how you live your life. I'll tell you, I learned this a couple years back, and the struggle to get to where I'm at today was like none other, to where it's literally made an impact on my personal health. I was willing to literally ultimately work till I die in order to get myself, my business, my family, my team to that next level. And I want that same insurance for you guys. I want to ensure you guys can actually get to the level where you're personally not just struggling and fighting to pay the bills. And I promise you, stick in, stay tuned, and make sure you implement what I teach you guys every single day and get socially interactive with me. I'm here to help you guys, but again, I'm here to help you active knockers. So that's the first point, goals, realistic goals. And by realistic goals, that may trigger some, because depending on how many people you talk to, seminars you go to, people say, those people who say set realistic goals, they're thinking too small. I'm not saying set small goals. Just because I said realistic, that doesn't mean that it's not high. I said high expectation realistic goals. Well, what's a realistic goal then? Let's just say you write 52 accounts, which means one deal every single week. Okay, so if you write one deal a week, a realistic goal would be to double it, right? Because it's still small numbers. One a week, I mean, let's be honest, there's 7 days in a week. I get you don't knock 7 days a week, but if you really had to, you can more than likely knock 7 days in a week, if you really had to. So saying that I'm gonna double it and get to 104 accounts every single year is a realistic goal. But now you need to look back and study, say, okay, well, if I hit 52 deals last year, why did I do that? Did I not work? Was I not motivated? There's a million things you can go into. And this comes into this next point that I want to talk to you about. You need to, as you're going through 2020, we're already in January, you need to go through and say what? You need to say, there's going to be problems, okay? That's a reality. The naked truth is there's going to be problems. Well, I need to, first of all, get good at identifying my problems, okay? So in 2020, you're going to go out there, you're going to fall on your face, and you're going to need to identify your problems. Now, I get it. A lot of people get so frustrated and pissed off that they're getting all these rejections, objections, and they don't know how to handle it. They come back, they kick themselves in the butt, and they want to quit. You need to identify the problems at hand. What are the problems? Is it you lack motivation to get out there? Well, if that's one of the problems, you need to identify and write that down. Maybe perhaps you're going out there and your opener pitch sucks. You just can't get people to engage with you. Maybe perhaps you're transitioning, getting in deals, and you just don't know how to, get people excited about your product and service. Maybe you lack in that area. Maybe you lack in multiple. Maybe you don't know how to close. Well, first of all, if you haven't already grabbed my free video series, there's a link in the description. I need you to click on that link and make sure you grab my free video series teaching you all that stuff. Your opener, your transitions, your close, how to handle objections. And I'm training, people in a room and hours of content that's free, made available to you. There are resources for you out there. You just have to seek, and you got to be committed to learning this, okay? So that's one big point, is I need you to identify that problems are going to happen. Now, when you identify your problems on a day-to-day basis, on a week-to-week basis, on a month-to-month basis, we need to create, and the second point is a plan of action. We need to create a plan in order to, overcome these problems, because every problem can be solved, okay? For the most part, almost every problem can be solved. But the problem is, a lot of people aren't willing to put the work and the effort and the energy into solving these problems. We identify the problem, okay, because we set goals and we know why we're doing what we're doing. And now that I identified, okay, these are my problems, well, I'm going to create a roadmap, a plan. I'm going to create a plan to solve these problems. Well, if I'm going to create a plan, and this is the secret ingredient here, when you're creating plans, you need to identify and understand that as you start to create more and more plans to your problems, and then the last step is you execute these plans, what's going to determine how successful you're going to be in 2020 is going to be determined based on, it's plain and simple, how great of a plan you built. So the way you build plans is going to get better over time. I need you guys to understand you're not going to create the best plan all the time. However, not doing anything is not okay. Creating a plan and then failing is okay. But when you fail, you need to understand, you need to look back and go, hey, what did I succeed at? What did I fail at? What can I do different so that I can create better plans? Because the execution of your plan is going to determine, like I said, your success. Okay, so you create the plan, and how over time you get better at creating, better plans to your problems, and then making sure you follow through with that execution. And I promise you, if you have high expectations from yourself, you set realistic goals, and you know exactly why you want those goals, and then you realize as you go out there, you start knocking on doors, or you start cold calling, you're faced with these problems, you expect problems, because problems are going to happen. If you want no problems, I'm sorry to say, good luck in business and life, because it's not going to happen. It's a reality. It's just one of the rules of life. It's just what happens. Okay, we're all competing in this marketplace to literally survive and feed ourselves and our family and live an amazing life. And as such, when you're knocking on doors, people want to hold on to their money. They just want to freely give it, right? It's time and work and effort that they put into the doors that these people that they put into their job, that when you show up at the door, it's not just like, hey, here's my free time, here's my free money. Okay, identify these things. It's very, very important. So you create the plan, you set up you have the goals, you identify the problems, you then understand that, hey, I got to create some plans, and how good of a plan I create is going to dictate how successful I'm going to be, and then you execute on that plan. Okay, and once you execute, you take a look back and you reflect. Am I better this month? This month, did I increase my numbers? Am I getting further ahead of my pitch? Am I now more motivated than I was before? So when you have your problems, just note that there are solutions. And that's my goal. That's what I've been working on in 2019. And I'm proud to say that, I've taken myself, my business, my team, my family to levels that honestly I dreamed of. And now we're going to the next level. And I want you guys and gals to be exactly in those shoes with whatever it is you want to create. Two amazing softwares. PhilQuick.com is our signature software in the alarm industry, the most used software that's super clean, friendly, and very, very disruptive on pricing. Just like Active Knocker for door-to-door sales reps. When you're out there in the field and you're knocking on doors, you can tag homes and so much more. If you have a sales team, you want to manage your sales force, this is an app on the Apple's App Store and as well the Android store. Yes, this is a plug for my products, but I want you to understand 2020 is here. And if you don't already know, my door-to-door mastery program has sold thousands of times over and over again. And if you're not already on that list and you haven't grabbed my free program, I have a paid program with the door-to-door mastery that will teach you everything you need to learn from A to Z. But don't take my word for it. First, grab my free program in the link in the description, click on that, and make sure you start closing more deals today. You start getting better, and you start learning from somebody who's done it time and time again. I've sold thousands of accounts with multiple different products and services. And it's very important that I knew my head was on right, but also I knew what was going on and how to overcome these issues that I'm having at the door. I just don't settle for nah, not interested, goodbye. Hey, like I said, follow us on social media. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button. 2020 is here. The end of 2020 is going to come. I assure you that. So the sky is not falling, but make sure that you get yourself where you want to be in 2020 by following the rules in this video. Thank you so much. Until the next one, God bless and see you later.